Hey, everybody! Brought all three of us up at the beginning.
Uh,
Catch y'all completely off guard. Hey, I like doing that.
you forgot someone.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
They get an introduction. Yeah, they get their own special introduction since they haven't been here in a while. Here we go.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Hey, Blake's here. Blake's here. Everybody party.
why is Blake muted?
Because he wanted to be.
I
I
didn't.
blame Joe.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Let me see if I get this straight. If I quit showing up for a while, I get the
Mhm.
special Independence Day introduction.
Yeah, but you have to be gone for a few months.
You said that a couple of times.
Yeah, well, John has disappeared for
I try
a couple
not
of
to
weeks at a
disappear.
time.
I try not to disappear for more than a week.
Hey,
Well,
I
you
think-
know,
I
life
think I
does
missed
get in
3
the way
shows in a row.
sometimes.
I think
guess what?
What?
It's just hit Twitter. There's a new Boba Fett trailer spoiler.
We can't read it because you got the blurry vision on there, Joe.
Ah, shit. Oh, well.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's a thing now.
What, the blurry vision?
Yeah.
I go to all the trouble of buying a computer that'll do green screen, and he goes to blurry vision.
It's blurry vision or clean my office. Blurry vision's easier.
Yeah, blurry vision's much better.
Green screen is much easier. Besides,
You-
Keisha
you know-
and Michaela are both saying hello to us.
Hey,
Oh, well, hi, Keisha, and hello, Michaela. And Blake, I got a question for you. How's Krista?
Doing better. Like bumped up quite a bit, but she's doing better.
Okay.
So she got punched with an airbag, I take it.
Yeah, it's like being hit with a pillow full of sand at like 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, I know what it
So-
feels like.
Ouch.
I've been punched by one. I don't
I've been
want to
punched.
ever do it again.
I've been punched by one, and one didn't deploy, and I'm glad it didn't. So, just saying.
I caught airbag lung from it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yep.
yeah, I don't know whose idea. I don't know whose bright idea the airbag was, but I would love to see him fall downstairs. And
Or be punched by an airbag, one or the other.
Both.
Well, they do work. I mean,
Oh yeah, of course they work, and they
so does the
they
front
do save
bumper. I just don't
people's
want to use
lives.
it.
They just hurt.
Mm-hmm.
The front bumper works too. I don't want to get hit by that either.
Yeah, true.
Michaela's on the road, just headed home from the movies with her husband.
what'd you go see?
What movie?
What movie?
Let's see, what is it? There's 2 superhero movies and let's see, what else? Dune, I think.
There's Dog. Dog came out a couple of weeks ago. I want to see that.
Mm.
But other than that, Morbius and Spider-Man.
That's the other
Yeah.
superhero movie.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
That I'm really hoping that's good.
She saw Dog. Hey,
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's supposed to be really
What
good.
Dog the Bounty Hunter, is it?
No. It's Dog, the former military canine.
Yeah. And from what I understand, it is Dog.
Literally,
From the
it's
walk-
Dog.
From The Walking Dead.
And also the same one that they're gonna use in the Fallout TV show too. Meat.
Dog
Meat.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't doubt it. Same breed and everything.
Yeah.
Figure out this controller real quick.
Oh.
There
Oh,
we go.
we were at the store today, and Lindsay noticed a video of Final Fantasy, and I said, "No, you don't want to watch that one, dear. You don't like that kind of movie."
Wait a minute. If it was the one that had had been Bill Pullman, I think, was in it, and Steve Buscemi, and Ving Rhames, and I'm trying to remember the other 2 big actors.
Final Fantasy.
Spirit Within.
Yes.
Movie.
Yes.
That was pretty good. So,
I
Yeah,
don't know,
that-
but she's not a fan of that kind of movie.
It's just a generic sci-fi at that point. It's not even like fantasy anymore.
it's right up there
Like-
with Aliens at that point.
Yeah, it's
And
like an Alien.
And the
It's like
special effects were awesome.
yeah, it's like a PG-13 version of Alien
She
or a Greg Bear novel, one or the other.
Greg. Oh, I've read some of his. Some of those are very philosophical.
I love Young and Eternity. Both are great.
I think I've got both of those.
You know,
On the shelf in the hallway.
I was expecting Joe to throw me up on the screen again, and I already had a news story picked out.
Okay.
Because everything has been Ukraine, Iran, North Korea, and Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. And I just got tired. But I've actually found a story we can all get behind.
Go for it.
All right.
You're full screen now.
All right. You see, 30 to 50 feral hogs really is the meme that keeps on giving. Unfortunately for humans and the environment at large, that's not a particularly good thing. Feral pigs damage the landscape, transmit diseases to humans, and release a not insubstantial amount of carbon dioxide each year.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So
Yeah.
basically, California is looking for people to solve its feral pig problem.
Oh, but they don't allow firearms.
They pissed off all the hunters. All the hunters left California. Now we got feral pigs everywhere. And I bet they're all Democrats. So that's...
No, pigs would be Republican.
No, not these pigs.
Test 1 2 test 1 2.
We hear you.
Hey! Oh,
We
there's...
got you sound.
Why is she doing Max Headroom? Oh, look.
And she's gone.
Hey, she's on her phone. It's all right.
And Michaela says they show a good side of the PSD of the military and the horrors they and their dogs went through to, but it was a slow plot.
Mm.
Hey,
Hey, Sean.
Sean Sullivan?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you popped into the Nibbin chat today and popped right back out. You must have been busy at work because you were using your at work identity. Yes.
The secret squirrel. The secret squirrel video thing.
All right, Steph's back. Somebody pull her up.
Crossing fingers. Let's see if we got Steph back.
Well, I'm not hitting any buttons. Go for it.
I know better than to hit Joe's buttons.
Well, I was working on something else, and hey, Steph.
Hi, can you, good? I can hear everybody now.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can actually see you move instead of just listen to you.
Oh, okay.
We had the still picture in the radio before.
Oh, lovely.
You were doing a Max Headroom there for a second on my computer. It's like.
Okay.
So how are you doing, Steph?
Oh, frozen.
Oh, Max Headroom. There we go. Okay.
One more time.
And she froze up. Well, at least she's smiling. So that's.
Hey, save that picture.
Just leave it.
Let's see.
I don't know how.
Print screened it. Okay, there we go.
Oh.
And she's
yeah.
All right, now she's back.
It works now. Okay.
I may not be able to do this tonight, guys. My tech is not cooperating on me here.
That happens quite a lot to all of us.
That's the story of my life.
Hey, if there's not a tech glitching on one of my shows, it's not one of my shows.
I kind of like that philosophy, actually.
True. Yeah, really. Hey, if it ain't perfect, it ain't us. Right.
No, if it is perfect, it ain't us. Oh.
I keep buffering.
Yeah.
Yeah. That does happen. It really does. To everybody. I mean, Bill probably has it worst of all since his Wi-Fi connection belongs to his next door neighbor and not him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got to not only travel a little bit of distance, but through a wall or several walls.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I
well,
just-
he can't afford it for himself. His neighbor lets him hitchhike. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
haven't
that's
op-
the box set.
I haven't opened it yet. It may pay rent soon.
Oh, okay.
What
Now,
is that?
Is that all of them?
Yeah, it's the 4K release one. It opens up and glows or something. It's a trap. Hold on.
Or
let me
eats your soul and hides under the bed for 20 years?
It's a ghost.
There is no Dana, only Thule.
Yeah. And
There is
then
no mom. Only
they cried enough, and it says also includes a digital version of Ghostbusters Answer the
Here
Call,
we go
which
again.
is the all ladies one. So there's a digital version in here,
Oh,
that
wow.
one.
Okay.
but it's unopened for right now. Yeah, I've
Maybe it
collected
should
all sorts
remain
of fun
unopened.
stuff. I know. I'm
Just
thinking.
thought I'd
Yeah,
mention that. It's
Yeah.
not a good year to let evil
Just-
spirits out.
yeah. That's
Glue a
true.
handle on it and call it a ghost trap. And
Yep. Indeed.
in 20 years, you could sell it for $5 million as a
Oh, I hope so.
authentic stage prop.
Well, since we're
Oh.
talking, like, this is a HallowCon's show, I am putting together stuff for the HallowCon auction. Bunch of number ones, Spider Noir, Memento Mori from The Crow.
Ooh.
Fun stuff like that. The 57, that's an old one. So all sorts of fun stuff that I'm going to put together. Actually, you can't see it right now, but I have like 3 tubs full of stuff, Joe, that I'm going to put into different
Hey,
things
Ryan.
for the,
Right. Hey,
for the
Ryan.
auction.
Whoa.
We're doing all right. How are you doing?
Oh. I don't know if y'all saw my post earlier today, but today's the 8th anniversary of hurting my back.
That's
Saw that.
the
Saw that.
Yeah.
that's the oxycodone anniversary, correct?
No, they wouldn't. They never gave it to me.
It's the Valium anniversary. I mean, it's like throwing
True.
bricks in the Grand Canyon, but
I think the
it's the thought
strongest.
that counts.
I think the strongest I ever got was Flexeril.
That helps a bit.
Yeah. Ryan's asking a question. VCR, does that mean you collect VHS tapes?
No, it stands for Video Channel Review. I am, fingers crossed, going to be joining the Serial Box podcast network here soon.
Oh,
Okay, great.
I don't know if you can see this or not, but all right. That's the 5-shelf case. It's 2 deep, like 2 layers deep with Blu-rays, and that's not all of them. So I have a little bit of review material, just a wee bit.
It looks like Skunk's horror movie shelf, actually.
Yeah, I'm rounding up like 500 Blu-rays or so right now.
I still have not bought a Blu-ray player, so I'm still getting the regular DVDs.
Get your Betamax ones.
No, never got into Betamax.
Yeah, between
Betamax was 8 tracks sitting right on top of it.
Reel to reel, thank you.
Hey, I know a guy who transfers reel to reel to DVD now, so if you have anything, let me know.
I've got to get one of those little cassette players that will play cassette tapes and convert them to MP3s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They sell them,
It's
I mean, they're 20, 30
yeah, they're $20 now. It's
Yeah.
it's 1-to-1 speed though, so you have to just let it play and either listen to the whole thing or walk off your area until you're done. So
Or put it to record to MP3 on one computer while you use another one.
yeah, true.
I do multitask. I mean, there's like 5 computers.
That's what that
in
old
this room.
computer sitting over here is for. You can't do anything on it, but it's got a 0.5 gig hard drive. So,
Hey.
Nothing but audio and video. Yep.
Exactly.
I've got one here that
And a
actually
card
still runs XP.
Ancient times.
Yes. I've got one in the barn
what
that
that one
still
runs.
runs 311.
don't never connect it to the internet.
Like, how am I supposed to do that?
What is it, Steph?
I wanted to ask you something. He was mentioning the auction.
Yes.
I still have a limited number of the Alpha and Omega posters. that Daryl ginned up for me and that he pre-signed.
Ooh.
Would you like for me to hold on to one and sign it myself as well for the auction?
Absolutely.
Hell
That'd be
yeah.
amazing.
Okay.
You didn't even need to ask. Just tell him you're going to do it. That's all.
Okay. I'll do it. I'll do it. So,
Pardon me if I speak for Joe Dog, but
Yeah.
he's a little slow sometimes.
And every year I
Just a
put
little bit.
something fun up. I think this year I'm doing this.
What is that?
Sandman.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Number 4.
That's
So
the DC
Cool.
Sandman. That's
Yep.
that's not the Marvel Sandman.
Nope.
Okay,
This
that
is
poster
my
is
Sandman.
already sold.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Dan, if you're there,
No,
We
no.
already
I
sold
mean,
your poster, Stephanie.
yeah,
yeah.
oh, Janice
do
wants
what now?
it. Janice
you've
wants
already sold the poster.
We sold that
Janice-
$2,000 poster you were trying to sell.
Janice
Yeah.
Sullivan says she wants it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Opening bid's $2,000.
We got $2,000.
Hmm.
Holy crap! I have some more probably a couple more for sale.
Hey, it can be made in 3 easy payments of $2,000.
10
Yeah.
easy payments of $200 a month.
Well,
No.
I'm gonna take them to LibertyCon, but then I'll probably hold off on the rest until I get to HallowCon.
All right.
That's
So,
awesome.
But I'll put one in the auction for sure. So, and then if however many, what the heck?
That was a motorcycle. Sorry, I live in the hood.
Oh, okay. That was coming through clearly enough that I thought it was something next door.
I thought I was starting to look out the window myself. I think Dan did.
No.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me.
I was
Whose
looking at the
ass are we
screen.
selling for $2,000?
Janice Sullivan, Sean
Oh, okay.
Sullivan's wife.
Okay.
Let's see.
So, but yeah.
Is that like a binding legal contract now that it's on the internet or something
Mhm.
like that?
Yeah, it's like there's witnesses and everything.
No, nobody signed anything. Sean said Janice will pick it up at LibertyCon.
that's
For
you
a
need to hang on to that.
price.
It's going to be part of the number 1's auction. I'm going to be doing a huge one. It's going to be like 50 like number 1
And I
comic
pity the fool.
books.
Don't pay a lot of money for that comic book.
And look, Beavis and Butthead number 1 as well. So you guys are going to have to bid often for a good cause, whichever one Joe picks this year.
And Ryan wants to know what your top 10 favorite movies are.
10 movies.
Just
That's
in
gonna,
general
that's a-
or by genre?
I know, like in general, like
With Ryan, it's probably in general because he does have many genres that he's interested in.
Exactly.
it's tough. I love movies. Let's go. I'll give you 3. Beavis and Butthead Do America, which is amazingly funny. Let's see. The Ninja Turtles 1990 movie and Antitrust with Ryan Felipe in it.
Heavy Metal, the movie.
Oh, we're all going to do this. now.
The magazine's good too.
Yeah, the magazine's good too. But see that one. What would be another just delicious movie that I love to watch? Like, I have this thing about shoot 'em up movies. Okay, so the one with Clive Owen, Shoot 'em Up. Okay, that's Monica Bellucci, and I can't remember who played the villain, but he's Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti, that's his last name. Paul Giamatti plays the villain. That's just an awesome shoot 'em up movie. Oh, is Dan gonna be back? Or
Yeah, I'll be back. Just keep vamping until I come back. It's not like I'm important or anything.
Well, what Eddie and the Cruisers.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Shoot. The Book of Eli.
That's a pretty good one too.
And what is the other one? Oh, A Christmas Story.
Good one.
I got to watch that one every year, at least once.
Sucker Punch. I liked that one.
That one freaked me out. Yeah.
It is very freaky. That's one of the things I like about it.
I missed. Are we working on any particular genre here, or just
Apparently
movies
not.
that we like?
Just movies.
Movies you like. Now, I'll throw another one out here. One of my favorite weirdo movies is The Lathe of Heaven. Not the later one, but the original one they did with I hate that I can't remember names. The one they did in the late 70s. And then Stephanie, name movies. She's gonna say Apollo 13.
If you're ever flipping,
Really?
flipping through and it shows up on and it's playing, what would you stop and watch? It don't matter.
Your searching channels, it comes up and hey, I gotta watch that.
Can I list more than 3?
Yeah.
Sure.
Any of the Matrix movies.
Oh yes, those are great. Have you seen the Animatrix?
I've seen part of it. I haven't managed to work my way through all of it yet. But
It's beautiful. It really is.
It is.
Animation in it. Go ahead.
Any of the and this is just for kicking back and fun. Any of the Harry Potter movies, any of the Lord of the Rings movies, any of the Men in Black movies. Around Christmas time, I will watch the Disney animated A Christmas Carol. And I will watch the animated version of The Grinch.
Oh,
with Benedict. That I always have to watch it, but then I also found a couple years back. I found the one where Benedict Cumberbatch voices the Grinch, and just fell in love with it. So I will watch that every time it comes on at Christmas.
You mentioned holiday movies, and of course, Wizard of Oz. Everybody loves Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah.
But the one I'm going to throw out here, just because I haven't seen it in years, and it kind of tipped me off because it always popped up right around Thanksgiving. Father Goose.
I love that.
Cary Grant, Leslie Caron, and Trevor Howard. Just great.
That's
yeah. I need to watch that. I've never seen that.
Oh Lord, yeah.
You may have just outgeeked all of us right there, Rocket Mama.
White Christmas.
That's
White Christmas. Yeah.
Now that's the Bing Crosby.
Danny Kaye.
Yes.
Danny Kaye. Thank you. That's the name.
Yeah.
And what's her name?
Rosemary Clooney.
Rosemary Clooney and
I know I can't remember their names either, and it's I could draw a picture of her face. I cannot.
Yeah.
She didn't wear
Vera Allen. See what else? I have to be in the right mood for it, but V for Vendetta.
Excellent movie. Oh, since you brought that one up, I'm going to throw another one out there. Dogma.
Dogma's great.
Because it's right up there. That, strange enough, Dogma and V for Vendetta, I consider to be two of those movies that, make fun of the establishment. That's.
Good night, Sean.
Good night, Sean.
I could say these movies are pretty awesome.
Oh, Rocky.
Yeah. This is going to go on the auction block too. The first 5 Rocky movies.
See, I am looking over here at my video shelf of my collector box sets of DVDs, and I've got The Simpsons. I've got Clint Eastwood's westerns and Clint Eastwood's other movies, including the Dirty Harrys and Any Which Way He Can.
Nice.
See, I've got Babylon 5, some Star Wars, Earth 2. If you remember that one, with Clancy Brown.
Yep.
Which I really liked the idea that the sci-fi failed. That was, that was just a really good movie for me. And it had Tim Curry. I mean, what more?
Yeah, you can't beat that. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, any movie with Tim Curry in it has a possibility of being a good
Earth
movie.
2. Wasn't that Rebecca Strayhart too?
I believe you're correct.
Yeah.
I
think
We'll
so.
have to go over and dig up the box set. And of
Oh.
course, Battlestar Galactica's.
Captain America: The First Avenger.
That is a diesel punk standard. That's an amazing one.
Because I can kick back and it's an old fashioned the good guys always win kind of a thing.
It's a good shut your brain off film. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had this thing, and I've talked about it on the show, where they did a bunch of the off comic movies. They did The
Mhm.
Shadow, and they did The Phantom.
Yep. I have
Oh.
both of those. Amazingly horrible, but good.
Amazingly horrible. That's a good terminology for it. They're amazingly horrible.
Throw the spirit in there as well. That was
The Spirit. That's
Yep.
different.
That was an
Yeah.
amazingly well done movie that nobody liked but me.
No, that
I think I've
that's
got
how
the
I am.
only copy that's ever been sold.
that's how I am with Darkman. I love all three of them.
Oh
Even
yeah. Well, I'm kind of ambivalent on the second two, but I really love the first one. It's got the most absolutely horrendously painful superhero transformation scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's how he became Darkman. You might want to close your eyes for this.
Speaking of horrible transformations, An American Werewolf in London, which may have been some of Stan Winston's finest works as a special effects person.
Yeah.
Definitely shocking for its time on a widescreen, let me tell you.
Because just everything that the blood and gore, the wounds, beheadings, zombies, and a werewolf. And you got to see Jenny Agutter naked.
That's always worth the price of admission. Sorry, Stephanie. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
All right. No.
I'm not. I grew up just staring at that woman's body. So
I absolutely. I fell in love with Jenny Agutter when Logan's Run came out, and then I found out she was one of the kids in the original Railway Children, and then I found out she played the mom in the remake of Railway Children. Lindsay loves both the original Railway Children and the remake, and I'm just going, oh.
And another movie that she was in that I will throw out here is just movies I love to watch over and over and over again. The Eagle Has Landed.
Yeah.
Because you got, what's his name? Michael Caine, Donald Sutherland.
What is that about? I know the name, but I can't.
Yeah, I know
remember.
the name, but I don't recall.
Okay. This disgraced Nazi commando unit gets a chance to go and kidnap Winston Churchill to kind of redeem themselves, and they figured out a way to get Winston Churchill off by himself, where this commando unit can capture him and get him out by a torpedo boat. And they have to take over this little British town out in the country to do it. It's a pretty good movie. Wait
a minute. So which side are we rooting for then?
It's one of those war movies where you don't really know who you're rooting for.
Okay.
But you wind up not rooting for Larry Hagman.
Okay, that's all that matters, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can get behind that one right there.
Trent Williams.
I have never rooted for Hagman since I Dream of Jeannie got canceled.
Well, this was after I Dream of Jeannie, but before JR. So it was like, let's not root for Larry Hagman. No, he plays the typical army officer that doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Oh, that's typical? I thought that was a stereotype.
No, you notice my background is MASH. Okay, army officers don't know what they're doing. Okay,
okay.
Animated movies. Any of the Wallace and Gromit movies.
Those are amazingly fun.
Isn't that technically claymation?
Yeah, but it's still an animated form.
Okay, yeah, stop motion animation, whatever.
Yeah.
Animated movies. What was the one I was just thinking about? Titan AE.
Amazing.
Which is another one of those horribly underrated movies with an all-star cast.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, if we're going to get into comedies, yes, the Airplane series. We talked about that Thursday, didn't we? About all the different.
I think so. Yeah.
Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, History of the World Part 1.
Oh, that's an amazing.
I can't wait to see Part 2 finally coming out. And
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Monty Python, Holy Grail, Life of Brian, Meaning of Life,
Nee.
Live at the Comedy Bowl, or, no, Live at the Hollywood Bowl, excuse me, was the Monty Python movie that was just hilarious. And then because it was live and they didn't miss a beat is what was so funny about it.
I think Jabberwocky was the only Monty Python movie that was not hilarious, but it had beautiful sets, costumes, and lighting. It was just not a comedy.
Okay. Let's see, another comedy that I talked about it Thursday night, Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh, yes.
The first 8 minutes of that you can't repeat on air anymore.
You just it's it's kind of like Blazing Saddles. You just gotta bleep the hell out of it.
I've introduced this show with the first few minutes of that.
I'm glad I was sick and had no control over what was going on.
That's all right. We didn't get censored.
At least there wasn't the dice throwing scene.
Oh.
You know, I actually took out the Fistful of Yen portion and put it as an intro to the Bruce Lee the Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon movie.
I'm glad you mentioned that because another comedy movie that I love is Kung Fu Hustle.
That's a good one.
Oh God, I laughed all through that.
I watched that thing 3 times flying back to Kuwait or to Iraq, and just everybody was sitting around me listening to it on little speakers on my laptop. We were just laughing my ass. I mean, just the whole flight. It's like you can see the plane shake every time a comedy's part.
I forget what it is now. There's a movie about a Chinese martial artist guy who was a hitman. And he ends up having to challenge Bruce Lee, or Bruce Lee comes to him for something. And every time Bruce Lee tried to hit him, he just ducked back out of the way.
Wait a minute. I got to ask a question here.
Yeah.
Which Italian opera singer? I'm not old enough to be an Italian opera singer. I might have to reincarnate 3 or 4 times before I get that old. Or have that much talent. It has to build up, Thankfully, I can't sing.
Dixon. I do.
Balzani.
I'm assuming that's a joke.
Yeah.
I don't look like Italian and I can't sing. I mean, well, I can sing almost as well as Kermit the Frog, but not quite. He's had more practice.
Just about any of the Muppet movies.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it to you this way. I sing so well, the dogs join in with me.
And the coyotes too, I imagine.
Since you mentioned Muppet movies, I'm going to throw out Pink Floyd's The Wall. It wasn't actually a Muppet movie, but it needs to be.
Have y'all seen?
Enjoyed it the way it was, but
I loved. I have a recollection of watching the Muppet Christmas Carol while I had a Victorian Christmas village set up on the table, the coffee table in front of the TV, and it was like it merged into the movie because we had a big screen TV, and it was like, oh wow, it's almost like I'm in it, So it was kind of cool.
my sister-in-law collects those little Christmas village things.
Mm-hmm.
When she sets it up for the family Christmas dinner, it takes up an 8 by 20 foot wall.
Oh wow!
They should set it up all around the house so you seem like a kaiju walking.
No,
through town.
it's all on one wall. I mean, my brother built a really big house, and she's got these deluxe glass display cases for it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I'm going to throw out a few war movies just because they're my favorite. Okay. Of course, I mentioned Father Goose, but Apocalypse Now. Patton's pretty good, but I actually like the second one they did even better. Patton, the later years or something like that. Also had George C. Scott.
A fine actor, yes.
See the Darkest Hour. Gary Oldman plays Winston Churchill.
Yeah, that's good.
That would be a sight to see.
Oh, it's awesome. You ever get a chance, watch that one, Dan.
That's a good one.
I'm impressed with anything he does, actually.
And
he is probably one of the greatest actors of our time because anything he does, he's good at, and there are some roles you can't recognize Gary Oldman.
Mm-hmm. I know.
That's
he disappears into the role. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. I don't necessarily like all the movies he's in, but I like his performances.
Yeah. After you watch that, you need to watch. I think it's Our Finest Hour, where the actual flotilla goes to.
That's an old one, isn't it?
No, it's a new one.
Well, there was Dunkirk. They actually showed. Dunkirk was the flotilla.
Yeah, Dunkirk. Yeah,
I think Finest Hour was actually the old black and white one that took place in the 50s, or they filmed it in the 50s.
Filmed it.
Yeah, Dunkirk. After you watch the Gary Oldman, watch Dunkirk because they just blend right together.
Battle for Britain, which that movie, it's just the practical effects. Just watching that movie for the practical effects that they had to put together just to show all those aerial battles is worth it. And it's got, again, Michael Caine. So, one of my favorite actors. Let's see, what would be another good war movie? Let me see. Let's get away from World War II. Of course,
take care of that.
Yeah.
Paths of Honor with Kirk Douglas. It's a World War I movie. Mrs. Miniver. That's another good one, Sarah.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah.
Let's see. Civil War movies. There were two in the series. You had Gettysburg and Gods and Generals. Gettysburg is pretty good, but Gods and Generals is an awesome movie to watch. Just because of all the people that were in it. Both those movies have all-star cast. Let's see.
If you can, we lost Stephanie. Temporarily. If you can find it, either read the story or find the video of a crossing at Owl Creek or a bridge at Owl Creek.
An occurrence at Owl Creek. Yeah. You talk about, spooky. Yeah. That one's spooky.
Yeah, Stephanie, we just mentioned one that you, a little Civil War thing that you liked, an occurrence at Owl Creek.
Yeah.
Master and Commander at the Far Side of the World with Russell Crowe. Excellent movie. Just they really did a good job capturing what it was like on a English type sailing or any sailing ship back in those days.
If I may.
Yes.
All right. The original black and white version of The Thing from Another World. Not that I have anything against the John Carpenter. It's just the original has the finest example of what a group of people having several conversations at one time, the crosstalk that goes on, that's the way people actually behave. That is just absolutely beautiful in my opinion. And the movie's not bad either. I mean, as far as it goes with James Arness as the giant intelligent walking carrot that's a vampire, basically. Let's see.
Forbidden Planet.
That was, that was going to be number 3 on my list, Forbidden Planet, with Leslie Nielsen actually not being a comedian.
Okay. Yes. Well, not intentionally anyway.
And then you have the entire William Pell and Myrna Loy Thin Man series of movies. They're short, they're really good, and the witty banter is fantastic. Forbidden Planet, Fantastic Planet, which is a French animated film.
That was wait a minute, the French one or the Disney one?
The French one.
Okay.
Yes, Day the Earth Stood Still. Thank you, Sarah. That was on my list as well.
I have yet to be able to watch that one all the way through.
The one with Michael Rennie is really
because something always glitches.
We were doing war movies just a moment ago, and I want to throw one more out there just because it is so awesome. Kenneth Branagh's production of Henry V. It's Shakespeare.
Yes.
It's not exactly a war movie,
but there's a
but
war.
It is.
but it is.
Yes, and it's they did a really good job showing what an actual battle in those days would have been like, even with the Shakespeare stuff on it. So.
Hey,
yeah, it was not pretty.
That's almost like the Ben Affleck Pearl Harbor movie. It's a great war movie screwed up with a love story.
Well, Sans Iwo Jima, same way.
Let's see. Okay, there's a tie for whatever position this one winds up being in. I don't know if it's fourth or fifth, but Buckaroo Banzai and Big Trouble in Little China. I love both of those. It's one of those I can sit down and put the extended editions in and watch the extra scenes that theater goers did not get to see because the edits were different.
What's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis played Lincoln, if I remember correctly. It just recently came out. Sarah put that one in there. Lincoln with Sally Field.
Oh, Lincoln with Sally Field. Okay. I wondered what that had to do with Buckaroo Banzai or Big Trouble in China.
Sarah threw it in there, so I threw it up.
Let's see. There was something else that was before I was so rudely interrupted or kindly interrupted. Thank you.
I'll be right back.
Blur them out. Oh.
No,
you got the blur filter on. Just blur out your whole family.
He can't blur out the volume.
I'm going to throw two more out here. Clint Eastwood's production people did Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima. And the interesting thing about these movies, they filmed them at the exact same time. They used the same area and the same fortification and everything. They just filmed it from two different directions. They showed the Japanese side of the battle and the American side of the battle.
That would be a good contrast. And
Flags of Our Fathers was about the people that raised the flag on Iwo Jima. What actually happened to the Marines and Navy corpsmen that raised the flag. Letters from Iwo Jima was about this. Was about the Japanese that were digging in defenses and stuff like that. And I think it's actually the better movie out of the two. The Japanese side of it. And there's that guy. I was about to bring him up. You push button for me. Chris, welcome to the show.
Busy talking about your favorite war movies.
We're talking about not just war movies, but
movies of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, I tapped in several earlier. As I
Ryan Permission was asking, what are our favorite? He said, "What are your top 10 favorite movies?"
Yeah,
throwing all sorts of stuff out there.
Okay. Now I've got to do this. Rocky Horror Picture Show, Shock Treatment, Phantom of the Paradise. I will watch those and watch those and watch those over and over again. I think I've seen Rocky Horror like 150 times now, and the last 50 was once I bought the DVD. I've actually seen it a bunch in the theater.
I'm going to go ahead and get
Paradise is really just one of those. It's almost cringeworthy, but it's so fun.
Sharks with fizzing laser beams. But anyway, no, I'm gonna get these out of the way real quick. All the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back was the best. Well, no, technically Rogue One was the best.
Yes.
In my opinion. I really like Rogue
One. I would agree. I'm not going to begrudge you that
but out of the actual Star Wars movies, Empire Strikes Back, just because it had the best story, and everybody knew what they were doing because they'd already seen
They'd already done it. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd already done it. You know the story behind that, right?
What?
In Star Wars: A New Hope, back when Luke Skywalker and all those Han Solo and everybody was doing the movie, Alec Guinness was playing Obi-Wan Kenobi. None of them really knew what was going on because George Lucas really didn't direct well. He was trying to direct,
Shocking.
but he was too busy worrying about the special effects and everything, which of course he had to.
Yeah.
And he kept pushing all these people, and he expected everybody to understand where he was coming from. And they were actors, and he was a sci-fi guy, story writer, and it didn't quite mesh.
You can't say this stuff. You can only write it.
But the thing was, you can tell a lot of the acting was a little wooden because they didn't quite understand what they were doing.
Yeah.
But by the time of Empire,
After they had seen the movie and go, that's what he was trying to tell me. Okay, yeah, I get it now. Giant space monster. Okay, I got it. Yeah, it's a big giant space station. Okay, now all that stuff we were doing makes sense. Yeah, laser sword.
Also,
it's not just a stick; it's actually a sword with a laser beam coming out of it. We get it now. And
lots of times, a lot of the stuff he did was like faster or slower because he grew up with the hot rods from American Graffiti, and that's why I always include a chase scene or a speed scene where there's something going fast.
Right.
and the old movie serials with the scroll telling you what happened last weekend, just in case you didn't get to the theater, you poor unfortunate child.
And that's why The Empire Strikes Back was a much better movie, because by then all the main characters understood what George was trying to do and jumped right into it. And the only one who just really didn't quite still get it was Alec Guinness, because he was a classical actor and he didn't understand. And he wasn't actually the first choice to play Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Who was?
I'm trying to remember his name.
Oh, I don't even have my glasses.
Kenobi. I'm gonna murder his name. Mashiro Kenobi or something like that. He was famous for being in a lot of the old Kurosawa movies. He always played a shogun.
Mifune.
It's Toshiro Mifune.
Thank you.
From
Mifune. And they actually wanted an actual samurai warrior to play a Jedi Knight. Imagine that.
Yeah,
that was his.
And the only reason I know that is because I used to watch Speed Racer and Astro Boy, and for some reason I learned the name of that actor who had nothing to do with either cartoon.
But anyway, in case you didn't see my comment earlier, I mentioned both of the airplane movies, Hot Shots, Part 1 and 2, Part 2, and Cannonball Run.
Oh, you are a Facebook user.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. But it's showing up
them.
on my screen.
Them.
Oh, that was a classic.
War
50s
War of the
sci-fi.
Worlds. War of the Worlds.
They Live.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
That's a
just about any of the Godzilla movies.
Oh, I love Godzilla movies.
Yes, and when I say just about any of the Godzilla movies, I'm also including things like Mothra and all that kind of stuff.
They mentioned earlier the day the Earth stood still,
Mm-hmm.
and of course Dan mentioned The Thing from about that same time here. And I'm going to throw another one up.
I have yet to get through an entire viewing of The Day the Earth Stood Still because something always happens, and it usually winds up being either noon or midnight when it happens. And I just decided, you know what, I'm not going to try anymore. Nope. That's a sign. Nope.
Watching 70s
That's because Michael
sci-fi.
Rennie turns all the electricity on the face of the Earth off at noon, and your VCR
and when you're watching the Late Show and then you're watching it and the power goes out at midnight, you're like, nope, going to bed now. Yep.
I'm taking
Call an omen.
Don't forget.
Watching 70s sci-fi. We already mentioned Logan's Run.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah,
I'm going to mention
it's a
Soylent
cheesy
Green,
movie, but I love it.
Soylent Green and Omega Man.
Omega Man was one of those things when I was a kid. It came on
Planet of the
TV
Apes,
the first time I saw it.
Charlton
And it's
Heston
like,
just was. Charlton Heston was 70s sci-fi. I mean, he was in everything.
For a lot
of Apes, Omega
of
Man,
yeah.
Earthquake.
Earthquake. Well, that
Yeah.
was Irwin Allen. You gotta love those though.
Oh, now we got to give a shout out to Vincent Price and all the cheesy movies that he was in. I mean, if you had a $2 budget and Roger Corman was your director, you had to hire Vincent Price to make sure the movie worked and made money.
Oh, what were the Dr. Phibes? Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God. Of course, that was not Hammer or Roger Corman, but
yeah,
Vincent Price did a really good job, and they screwed him over.
Yeah.
Let's not.
And he told him, "I'll never work for you idiots again."
It's he
actually said something very un-English.
Chris just was trying to come up with one here. What was it, Chris?
Let's not forget, it's a mad, mad, mad world.
It's a mad, 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 mad world.
Yep.
One
of the best comedies ever.
Ensemble cast.
Three Stooges. What more do you ask for? I mean, that's.
I never got into the Three Stooges.
I loved all five of them, which makes no sense. But yes, I loved all five of them.
Yes, it does. We know they had.
Well, yeah.
Some of us know they had extras. Yeah.
Gumball Rally.
Oh yeah,
I'd forgotten all about that one.
No,
the rip off of
Cannonball Run.
No, Cannonball Run was the rip off of Gumball Rally.
Sarah is on the ball. The fly.
Gumball Rally is actually based on an actual cross country race.
Yeah, it actually still goes on to this day.
And it's called the Cannonball.
Yeah, it's called the Cannonball Run now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's teams that get little bitty cars and throw two gas tanks in it and go.
Well, let's not go there.
Oh, speaking of good movies, MASH.
Oh yeah,
MASH movie was good.
And speaking of where there's a little bit of rivalry between the stars, City Heat, which had Burt Reynolds and Clint Eastwood.
That was a good movie.
The War Wagon with John Wayne and
Kirk Douglas. That was another one of those rivalry movies.
Tango and Cash with Russell and Stallone.
Yeah.
Let me see. Galaxy Quest.
That was.
Oh
fun.
yes,
that was awesome.
The best Star Trek movie ever made.
The best Star Trek movie ever made.
Oh, that's not right. Daryl and I went home from the theater after watching that movie, and every few minutes, one or the other of us would quote that line, and we'd burst into practically hysterical laughter. He had to slow way down in the car just to avoid having a wreck. Because and as soon as we get sobered up a little bit, the other one would come out, oh, that's not right, and we'd lose again.
There are two Val Kilmer comedies that deserve notable recognition.
Top Secret.
Mm-hmm.
And a Real Genius.
Yes.
Those are both really awesome.
Just because of the Jiffy Pop scene.
Well,
actually, his version of The Saint was not bad.
No, it was not. And I love the part
I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed
it.
It was not fantastic, but it was not bad. And it was not his fault it wasn't fantastic.
Speaking
Willow.
of the Saint,
I got to mention Willow because he was in it as well.
Willow was another good one. Adventures in Babysitting.
Yes.
Good old Thor.
Good old Thor.
Hard to believe that's the same guy.
Yeah, ain't it?
Vincent D'Onofrio, who was in.
Sarah, which version?
I like the original.
Jeff Goldblum was original.
I like the original, but the Goldblum one's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm rather fond of the Vincent Price version.
Yeah, John B. We got a John B. Pike checking in. John, I don't know if you've heard any of this, but we are asking people what their top 10 favorite movies are. So we're going in through genre, and everybody's throwing a couple in per genre.
We're not even paying attention to genre. We're just coming up with stuff off the top.
We're not
of
even paying attention to
think of it.
Like we were talking Vincent Price, and one of my favorite Vincent Price things isn't even Vision. Like it's The Whistler radio plays.
Oh
So,
yeah.
those are some of my favorites.
One of my favorite Vincent Price roles was Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Yep.
He wasn't even seen in
Nope.
the movie.
I enjoyed him doing the
Oh, hell,
voiceover in
he
the
got
Thriller
a wasn't it which is the award for record albums?
Grammy.
Got it.
Grammy.
He
Grammy.
got one
Yeah.
for his narration in an Alice Cooper album. Welcome to My
Mhm.
Nightmare.
Well, he was
And of
also
course, he did the narration for Thriller.
Yeah,
And then turned around.
Casablanca is another good one.
yeah.
And then turned around and sued Michael Jackson because the laughter wasn't in the contract.
He did not sue Michael Jackson. His estate.
The
sued
estate did,
Michael
yeah.
Jackson. Which
Well,
that
yeah.
just smacks of money grubbing, if you ask me.
Well,
I hate to
yeah.
cut
Casablanca
things
is a good
short.
one, John.
Wait.
Oh,
What?
you're gonna check out?
Yeah. One last thing that goes on the auction block. Let's see if I can get it zoomed in. It's Legos, but it's G.I. Joe.
G.I.
got-
Joe Legos?
Oh, wow.
They're little
That's my
knockoffs.
childhood right there. G.I. Joe
I
Legos.
got this guy right here.
Snake Eyes. Yeah.
Yep. I got Storm Shadow. He has a little,
That's his brother, Storm Shadow.
Yep.
White.
and then Cobra Commander. They're all going to go on the auction block in October. So yeah, I have a whole mountain of stuff to help the whatever
I
I think
cause
the
it is.
same guy that voiced Starscream voiced Cobra
Starscream
Commander
and
because
Mhm.
Because they were both
Yep.
Hasbro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Blake, thank you for coming back. I mean,
Yeah,
seriously,
thanks for
we
coming
have
back.
missed you.
The studio is like not set up yet, but there's a Dimitri painting in the background.
Ah,
One of
there's
our esteemed artists from last year. So,
nice.
John B.
But,
Pike also threw up Casablanca, Planes,
Mhm.
Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, of course. Of course. How
Yeah.
could we
Star
forget
Wars: The Empire Strikes
Casablanca?
Back.
Strikes
You're a little
Back.
late on
We
that
haven't
one,
forgotten
Micah.
it. We just hadn't gotten to it yet.
And then
Indiana
Maltese
Jones
Falcon,
Last
we
Crusade.
never mentioned
Yep.
that one either.
Indiana Jones: Last Crusade is just hilarious. The whole three, I mean, just everything through it.
Oh, yes.
The first
Oh,
and the
yes.
third one was the best.
Yeah.
The
'Cause I
second
love
one
the-
was okay, but
You can almost
Well-
believe that Sean Connery was Harrison Ford's dad.
Yes.
I mean, just
Just
that's
yeah.
that
It
perfect
was not
father
a
and
reach.
son. I can't
It was
believe you
not
did
a
that.
reach whatsoever.
Back to the Future. That's another decent one.
Be right back.
all
the
right.
second
Where'd the
Indiana
buttons
Jones
go?
was better because of short
We
run.
moved them.
I see.
I mentioned Ferris Bueller's Day Off earlier.
Air America with Mel Gibson and Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
It's a war movie. It's sort of but it's just hilarious because that is exactly how contractors in a theater of war act.
Okay, if we're going to go with Robert Downey Jr., we've got to do the first Iron Man.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually like the second one too.
Back to School with
Yeah.
Rodney Dangerfield and,
Yes.
strange enough, a very young Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
And a very young, what's her name from Star Trek Deep Space Nine played Jadzia Dax.
Terry Farrell.
Terry Farrell.
Yeah.
Silverado and Tombstone. Yes.
Yes, those are good ones.
Untouchables, another good one.
Lost Boys, of course. The infamous line, you try finding a 15-year-old virgin in California.
And Wyatt Earp. Just because as good a job as Val Kilmer did in Tombstone, the job that
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid did as Doc Holliday in Wyatt Earp was just as good. Okay, because I love the part he gets drunk and they Wyatt Earp takes him out and starts dunking him in the fountain or the horse trough out in front of the town. Everybody's watching him dunk this drunk Doc Holliday and thing, and he looks up and he looks at all these fine people that are sitting there staring at him while he's drunk, covered in water. Looks up at him and goes, "Kiss my rebel dick." I mean, just
He was from Georgia, wasn't he?
he was from Georgia, and
He went out west to get away from the humidity, so hopefully it help his health out.
He studied dentistry up on the East Coast. I want to say Delaware, but I might be wrong about that.
Hmm.
And then we wound up going back to Georgia to practice dentistry. He wound up catching tuberculosis off somebody who's sticking his hands in their mouth or something.
Mhm.
And that's how he wound up going west.
Yeah. And I picked it up off just a little cue. Dentist in Georgia. Okay, yeah. How many of those have we got?
Of course, I gotta say, Smokey and the Bandit, the original was
The
so
Smokey
much
and the
fun.
Bandit series. You know, there were a lot of those car chase movies back then. You know,
Mhm.
Convoy
Yeah.
with Chris
Convoy.
Christopherson.
Well, Hal Needham started directing. That's why
McCall,
he was a stunt coordinator.
the singer for the theme song of Convoy, the one that had the hit record, he just passed away this week.
Oh, Bill
Yeah,
Freeze.
he did.
BJ
Played
McCall
C.W.
or
McCall.
BJ McCall.
C.W. McCall.
C.W. McCall. Thank you.
Actually, that was Bill Freeze and Chip Davis of Mannheim Steamroller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Freeze was the voice, and Chip Davis did the music for it.
C.W. McCall credit.
Mhm.
Well, that
Oh,
was the name they made up for it.
Oh, okay.
And for some reason, C.W. McCall's band opened for Mannheim Steamroller.
Yeah.
Then we got a
And the
boy
funny
and a
part
dog.
was, all they did is they went off stage for 15 minutes to the break, and then come back as another band, as the main band. Yeah,
And nobody noticed.
Chip Davis was the one that was behind all that.
A boy and his dog with a very young Don Johnson.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I've only seen that once.
Based on a Harlan Ellison.
Harlan
novel.
Ellison story, yes indeed. And that
Short
is
story
the reason.
novel. Yeah.
That is the reason why Larry Niven's mother will not read science fiction, or if she's still with us today. She found out that Larry was writing science fiction, and somebody recommended a science fiction book, and it just turned out to be A Boy and His Dog. And after reading that, she swore she'd never read science fiction again.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. What's the big deal
Boy and His
there?
Dog is it's a post-apocalyptic movie. World War III is broken out. It's killed everything. And this scientific lab genetically modifies a dog to be incredibly intelligent. And because, well, it turns out most of the men on the planet are infertile because of the radiation and such. Well, they got this one young man, boy, 15, something like that. And he's almost feral.
And
But
this
it
is
turns
a
out
side plot. This is not the main plot. This is a
side plot. So they team him up with this dog, and the dog leads him around to all the outposts and tries to hook him up with women to produce children.
Okay.
And they wind up finding this one colony that's in an underground bunker society. Everything's underground. And they're very 1950s-ish.
Yeah.
What's the video game that's out that's almost the same thing?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't think about video games.
It's one that's out now. They're getting ready to make a movie about it. Dog Meat. Where's?
Well,
anyway, he winds up. Jason Robards plays one of the governors in this bunker society, and it goes on. They try to hook him up with all these women and stuff like that. So, interesting story. But I won't throw any. If I throw anything else out there, I'll ruin the story for you. Too many spoilers.
well, I'm going to give you a
worth watching, but horrible.
Dan will know this. I'm going to give you a scene from a movie and sort of guide you in, as it's a post-apocalyptic World War III movie, the cockroach scene.
Yes, I know exactly. Damnation Alley.
Yeah.
Tana, this town's infested with killer cockroaches.
It's not necessarily the greatest movie, but it's a lot of fun. Hell Goes to Frogtown.
Hell Goes to Frogtown, featuring Rowdy
Damnation
Roddy
is
Piper.
the only movie I know where the truck is the star.
Yes,
No.
the Landmaster.
Yes.
He's talking
And
about.
What about Maximum Overdrive? That truck was the star.
No, it wasn't. The truck was the villain.
Yeah, it's still a star.
Yeah. It's actually
Whatever.
better Goblin than the
Hey.
Goblin than Spider-Man was.
Yeah, exactly. Most people can't remember who was in the movie except for Lisa Simpson, but they can remember that big truck with the Green Goblin face on it. That was the star.
I can remember a lot of the cast.
Charlie, wasn't it? No. It was Charlie Sheen, or one of the
No.
Sheen.
Emilio
Emilio
Estevez.
Estevez.
Well, one
Pat
of the Sheen
Hingle.
boys.
Oh yeah, Pat Hingle. He's good in anything he's in. That's
and,
another one of those actors. He's one of those character actors that he can't act for a darn, but he's great in anything he's in. Speaking of
Independence Day.
Hello, Moon Angel.
Yeah, I like that one.
Welcome to Earth.
Speaking of
You didn't
Pat
finish that
Hingle movies,
sentence.
Hang 'em High. Clint Eastwood's Hang 'em High, which is a really good movie.
Oh, any of the spaghetti westerns that Clint was in, they might have not had the highest production values, but they were definitely entertaining.
Oh,
you know?
2 Mules for Sister Sarah.
Oh, that one was neat too.
Was that
Oh.
one? Okay, Clint Eastwood got tired of getting all the spaghetti western roles, so he started his own production company to do his own movies. Malpasa Productions, I think was the name of his production company. And Hang 'em High, I think, was one of his.
Yeah.
What was the?
Don't forget Any Which Way But Loose and Every Which Way You
I
Can.
believe those were all Malpasa.
Yeah, but those weren't westerns.
I'm trying to remember the one where he plays the sheriff that's come back to town.
Is that Pale Rider?
No, before that. Darn it.
Hey, he's had a long career. It's not
It was the
beyond
one
the realm of speculation that you forget.
they hire him. They hire him to protect the town from a bunch of gunfighters and kind of come back and shoot the place up. And he winds up taking over the town and has them paint the entire town red.
Forgiven?
That's one of the later.
Unforgiven. Yeah.
Unforgiven. Yeah.
Darn it.
Oh, Chris.
Yes. Yes, I remember seeing it Thursday night. You showed it on air.
Why? How could I do that? I didn't buy it until Friday.
Well, it was late Thursday night. You should maybe you took a picture of it because you knew you were going to get it.
Well, I said I wanted to get it, but I couldn't find it except on Blu-ray, and I don't have a Blu-ray player. But this is the DVD.
Yeah.
So
High Plains Drifter.
High Plains
High Plains
Drifter.
Drifter.
High Plains Drifter was the movie. It's actually kind of a ghost story if you ever watch it.
Oh yeah, Sarah, that one's a really good one too. Play Misty for me.
Psychopath.
Not a western, but still a really good movie.
Ryan, did we put you to sleep? I haven't seen you make a comment in a while.
Speaking of Clint Eastwood movies that everyone needs to watch, The Iger Sanction.
Definitely.
Elrond. Okay, Moon Angel, what's some of your favorite movies?
Yeah, that's Angie. One of
John.
Well, I'm going by her.
What?
first
I was trying to play with the cat.
Oh.
Come back here. People are trying to play with you.
Well, that's why I had to run away real quick. Our cat was doing his job.
I still
mouse?
watch VHSs, and I have a couple of computer. I don't even know what the acronym is supposed to be. It's just something you plug it in a DVD drive, and if your computer is good enough, it can remember the old format to play it. It's some kind of digital
HDMI?
video disc that isn't DVD.
Excuse me for one moment.
Digital video input out.
I don't know what it is. I've
DVI?
got I've got a copy of Tank Police, and I've got a copy of The Mask, and it's some kind of pre-DVD digital disc. So I don't know what
CD-ROM?
CD-ROM, that might be it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I see we've got a troll in the room, and we're just going to ignore that troll.
Yeah.
are we? Why don't we kick it repeatedly and stomp it into the mud like it needs to be?
No, we're just going to I'm going to give them the pleasure of posting it, and right before the end of the show, then I'll delete it. Then we
Okay.
won't bring it up on screen.
That's true.
Um,
Ignoring idiots is the best revenge.
No, we're not talking about
Not you,
Randy.
Angie. Not you, Angie. Several posts up.
no, this is somebody from YouTube. You can't see it.
Yeah.
From UT. I wouldn't even insult UT that way. Of course, I wouldn't insult UT anyway. I'd cheer for him
Dirty
every time.
Dancing.
Over on one of the YouTube pages, John.
Oh. UT.
Oh,
Okay.
Roadhouse. I enjoy it too. Speaking of Patrick Swayze movies,
Not you, John, either.
they're on YouTube.
The UTI, yeah.
Yeah.
They're definitely a UTI.
They're imitating a UTI anyway. They're painful and unpleasant. That's about the best you can say for the troll.
Oh. Well, what I've been trying to get to ask Stephanie is, what's up with the sun? Is it making up for lost time?
It's fairly active right now. We're coming out of the standard solar minimum, and so yeah, it's going to get more active. It still is not doing enough for me to say we're not going into an extended minimum. I'm still waiting. Most of the time, even when it goes into an extended minimum, it still has some activity during solar max anyway. So there's only one that I know of that basically flatlined, and that was the Maunder minimum. So
that was a while back, wasn't it? I don't remember what year that was. Do you have it on
that
hand?
was no, I don't have it on hand.
It was a while.
It was 1700s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's even earlier than I thought.
Yeah, it was the winter at Valley Forge and some stuff like that were part of it. So
And the frost fairs in London,
right.
about the same time when the Thames actually froze.
Yes.
And
the
I remember from watching a Doctor Who episode.
The Stradivarius violins were made from wood that grew during this time. They were extremely dense because of the weather, and so that was contributed to the beautiful sound of the violins.
Tree were very, very close together, and the wood was very dense, like you say. Yeah,
right.
That, and
right.
the varnish that was used, which is incredible. And no, I don't study violins. I couldn't tell you specifics. Don't ask me questions. I know trivia.
Speaking of violins, have you heard anything out of Thessaly?
Yes, I have.
I see occasional posts by her. But yeah,
She's still playing. She's not posting any videos of her playing, but she is still practicing, and she's missing her friend quite a lot. The one that passed away last year, and it's people grieving their own time. So there he is.
I hear you, but he can't. I hear you, but he can't.
Well, he looked up at you when I started. Like,
Well, he may have heard it through the
Ear.
coming out of the headphones.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past a cat to be able to hear what other people can't coming out of a headphone. Yeah.
Yeah, no, when I was talking about my cat was doing his job, they started clearing the woods at the bottom of the hill. So we've got all sorts. You okay, John?
Yeah, just a laser pointer.
Yeah.
Cat paying no attention.
Well, I'm on my cell phone, so you're about
Postage stamp size.
yes, just about So him can't see you. No, him can't see you.
Oh, these are red.
All right, I'll be back. He's doing double duty tonight. Earning his keep.
Hey, looky here.
Spooky.
Looky here.
Well, as we were saying,
What I was going to ask Stephanie, because she might know, is about 10,000 years ago, there was some sort of big volcano in South America.
Yeah.
And it is supposedly what killed off North Africa.
Yeah.
Formed the Sahara Desert and all this different stuff.
change the climate. Yeah.
It did enough damage to North Africa from all the, what do you call that? Comes off of a volcano. Ash.
Ash. The
trying to think.
Cloud, global cooling.
The plume.
Yeah. The plume. But
okay. And you wanted to ask what?
I'm trying to remember.
You know which volcano it was?
Well, no, I'm trying to remember what the term for that was. It has a term.
Super volcano?
Well,
no.
The other thing was, where was the volcano? They said it was somewhere in South America. They didn't say where that I know of.
Concagua. It's the tallest mountain in the Andes. And I believe it's a volcano, Pete.
At one time, I could have told you. At the moment, I cannot pull up the information in the noggin.
Because it supposedly erupted for decades.
Yeah.
And that's what, I mean, and that whole area.
They do sometimes.
Yeah, it killed everything. Matter of fact, parts of Iraq.
Good night, John. Thanks for coming in.
Good night, John.
Good night, John.
I can go off and look it up, and we can talk about it next week if you want to.
That'll work.
Yeah.
I think it's
now you gotta be on the show.
It's 22,000 feet. It's
That's
right
on up there, so if it is a volcano, whatever plume came out of it had an advantage of going more easily going higher in the stratosphere. The higher you get a dust cloud, the more widespread the effects are.
Yeah. And I don't know if the scientific term is the same, but, they talk about if we have a massive nuclear war, there'll be a nuclear winter, which some will not be allowed to get through the dust and the cloud cover.
But
the terminology is modified to volcanic winter.
Yeah.
For natural.
But if you look and you follow that swath across North Africa and Asia, it goes all the way from like Morocco, across North Africa, Iraq, Persia, all the way over the Gobi Desert. It's all just one long desert.
Yeah.
And if you go, and it's kind of funny, if you go over there and dig in the sand, you can find trees.
And dinosaurs.
Yeah, that were they used to have forests and rivers and all that sort of fun stuff.
I'm back.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Something happened.
I think that was a catastrophic geothermal event there.
I think he finally got revenge on the cat.
No. It wasn't dead.
The cat drug something back into the house that was not yet dead, correct?
No, caught. They've cleared the woods, so this whole hillside is eat up with rats.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Donna was in the kitchen.
Oh my God!
Uh-oh.
I can see it now. Talk about scream like a little girl. I bet you did too.
No.
Did she lose her voice? Did she scream out loud?
It ran straight for her, and the cat dead on its ass. And she's trying to high step over both of them.
Good night, Angie.
Come back here. I ain't through killing you yet.
Needless to say, watching Donna scream was so earthy.
You pay for that later, Doug. You pay for that later.
Yeah.
Especially if she watches this.
Yeah.
Angie, you're more than welcome to come on at any time, but you got to drag that guy we know with you. We got to get him back on here too.
No, I wouldn't put any conditions on somebody who wants to come on and alleviate the.
We need all the help we can get.
I'm gonna hurt in the morning.
You're gonna hurt.
In more ways than one.
If you let Donna hear you, you're gonna hurt real quick.
You're gonna get sucker punched in your sleep.
But seeing she goes, see, if that's not a rat, what is it? About that time he turned it loose and it ran straight for her.
Oh dear.
She was trying to climb.
You
Was it the gray one?
can fly.
Was it the gray one?
Yeah, he's, but he caught, and then he caught it again.
I really hesitate to say he was playing with it, but that does sound so wrong. But
He was playing with it, but once it went for Mama, he ended it.
Okay. Protect.
Oh my God! I'm sorry, guys. Where were you?
I don't know. We were in the middle of something, but we're always in the middle of something.
We were
talking about a super volcano.
Oh yeah,
in
we
South
were
America
talking about a
that
super
wiped out
volcano in
the
South
Sahara.
America that
Wiped out
created
Sahara.
the Sahara Desert and a huge swath all the way across to the Gobi Desert in China, or Mongolia. Excuse me.
and I'm gonna try and somebody post it someplace where I'll see it, so I'll remember to go research it, and we can talk about it at one of the episodes next week.
Okay. I'm sorry. I actually had to hit my inhaler on that.
Yeah, we saw it.
Where do you get an inhaler? Lindsay's been wanting one for her asthma, and we can't find anybody that sells them around here.
It's all prescription now.
Oh, okay, that explains it.
Yeah.
She used to be able to buy them over the counter. Now she's got to go under the counter. That sounds so wrong. Now she's got to get a prescription. Okay. Well, that's going to happen because she hates going to a doctor. Not because she hates the doctors, it's because she hates spending my money.
I hate going to the doctor too. Every time I go to the doctor, they find something wrong with me.
Tell me about it.
Dan, let me ask you this: do you have insurance on her?
Yeah, but if
Well,
anything happened to her, it wouldn't pay me much.
I'm not talking about life insurance. I'm talking about health insurance.
Yes, I do.
Well, hell,
She
it's
hates-
not technically spending money on you if you got health insurance.
She
Take
hates
advantage of
spending
the shit.
that too. It's insurance through work. It's not extraordinarily good. It used to be much better when we first got married. Work has devalued the coverage.
Of course, every workplace does that because they're cheap bastards.
Okay, yeah, I'll second that emotion right there. Yeah, um, you're 100% right. Yep, and we'll probably be much better off when I'm retired, and I'm having to pay for it out of my own pocket. So
No,
What?
no. But I'm where he's talking about right now. No, it's not better.
Paying for it out of your own pocket.
It's got to be
Better
better
off.
than a $10,000 deductible.
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Because this is what I've got.
What's the point?
The point is, it looks good on paper.
Yeah, and you don't
okay.
have to pay as much in premiums, but you pay for it in terms of if you get something major, you're royally screwed.
Yeah,
and not in a good way.
like an ingrown toenail or something. Yeah, something major. Used to be, it was great, and I paid $60 a week. Now I'm paying $120 a week, and I've got a $10,000 deductible to keep it to $100, $120 a week instead of 3/4 of my paycheck to get
Yeah.
actual real insurance that does anybody any good.
Yeah, health insurance and health prices are some of the biggest ripoffs in the modern days. Sorry, don't get me started on that. We'll go down a rabbit hole we don't need to venture
Yeah.
into.
And the rabbit hole costs extra.
Yeah. Just ask Alice.
Well, she's the one that told me.
Yeah.
Well, I
She's
overheard her
just this
talking to a
tall.
client. What?
Just go ask Alice when she is just this tall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There's a video out there that has the isolated vocal of Grace Slick singing with Jefferson Airplane singing
White Rabbit.
Yep. But it's you can barely hear the music in the background, and it's just her vocal.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, the lady got talent. I mean, if you didn't think she did before, this
She
was
wasn't just beautiful.
You ought to hear the ones they've done with Freddie Mercury.
Oh Lord, I don't even have to. I know that voice.
Yep.
One of my favorite ones is the isolated bass line of John Entwistle for "Won't Get Fooled Again." It's just him playing, but you can barely hear the rest of the band in the background. You can barely hear the vocals. He's just getting there, and the man knew not only how to play the notes, but he knew how to play the silences in between.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
That's a sign of a musician.
And I will tell you another one that I would love to hear done that way is the bass line for Another One Bites the Dust by John Deacon.
Actually,
They might have it, but I haven't heard it.
I haven't heard an isolated bass line, but if you listen to the recording, it's prominent enough to where if you got the fair enough concentration, you can hear that as isolated as your mind can make it. And it's still, I mean, the man's highly underrated as a bass player. I mean, seriously. He does not get enough praise.
That whole band is.
Oh yeah, they're
really
all fantastic, and they all well deserve the fame and fortune that they've got, the adulation that they've gotten.
One of the spookiest songs I've ever heard, where they isolate the vocals from the music, was Seal doing "Kiss by a Rose."
Mhm.
or Kiss from a Rose.
Kiss from a Rose, yeah.
Kiss from a
I
Rose.
knew which song you were talking about.
And him just singing.
Hi, Bubs.
He sang it a cappella. You can find it on YouTube. They do the a cappella version.
Stephanie waving at you.
Ooh. I've got the
This
door
is
closed.
my
Can't
this
get
is
any-
my mischievous little shit.
You can't tell that I'm a crazy cat lady, can you?
Oh, whatever give you that.
I gotta watch this, and he's a climber.
We had this dog in our neighborhood that got hit by a car, and big golden retriever, and the guy who owned the dog wouldn't take it to the vet. So we wound up taking it to the vet for him, paid for it and everything. They sent him back, and they'd done the surgery and everything, and he had one of the big Elizabethan collars on him, but it was one of the cheap nylon white plastic ones.
Mhm.
I'm sitting here watching him mope, and he hates having the thing on, but there's nothing he can do about it. So he's moping around with that thing on. I said, I can fix that. So I got a Sharpie marker, and I had a bunch of American flag stickers in a notebook I had. So I put a little American flag sticker on the outside of it and wrote NASA on the outside of it. So it looked like a big satellite dish sticking on his neck. And everybody that walked up to him goes, that's so funny. And everybody was so happy to see him, just because that was, because everybody knew the dog. When they saw him with the collar on, everybody's like, "Oh, you poor baby," and he was like, "Ooh." After that, he was like, "Hey, I got a NASA collar." It's like golden retrievers do.
Cone of shame.
No, it was now.
This was a
astronaut
satellite dish of pride.
He was the dog that the people at Central Park knew the dog's name, because every day when they went and fired up the grill for lunch, he would show up.
Okay.
And they would throw the burger patty scraps out to him or whatever.
And Angie says, "Well, wrong one." There we go. Feel free to bring her on as a guest host anytime.
Yeah.
Well, if you hadn't left, we probably would have.
Yep.
The
more the merrier. How many people can we get on this thing at one time? 9?
9.
9?
No, 10. We can get 10. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Brady Bunch is 9. We can get 10.
Yeah.
We're one better than the Brady
Bunch. And still have 2 waiting backstage in reserve.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm back. When I go into that buffering thing, y'all sound like a theremin.
I had
that's
that
all because that's all that's all I can hear is just ding 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 ding.
Oh, robot voices.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. That or maybe Charlie Brown adults,
Wah, 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 wah,
right.
Oh,
I've never made sense at the best of times. So.
Estelle Harris died.
Oh.
She played the mom. In Seinfeld, and she played Mrs. Potato Head in Toy Story.
Oh, and I forgot to mention it. Saturday was Alec Guinness's birthday.
All right.
I saw a post from Mark Hamill.
Does that mean we're supposed to drink beer?
Don't I always?
Yeah, you can probably use it as an excuse to if you want to.
I don't need an excuse.
To
that would be an excuse to buy Guinness.
I said if you wanted to. Didn't say you had to.
When I found out my job was no longer in danger of being eliminated, I bought one of those oatmeal stouts from the store, and as soon as I got home, I stuck that sucker in the freezer. And after one canned beer, I went and got it because it was cold enough by then. and I spent about 3 hours drinking the oatmeal stout. That tasted so good, and the warmer it got, the better it tasted. I swear I should never put it in the freezer.
There are beers out there that actually taste better at room temperature than you, because you refrigerate them, you kill the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't taste it. Sam Adams has quite a few that if you drink them when they're cold, they taste one way. If you drink them when they're warm, they're entirely different beer.
Yeah. A lot of British beers are like that, and some German ones. They're supposed to be
Dan,
cool, but not cold. Yeah.
I never heard one word of what you said once I found out that my job wasn't going away.
Oatmeal
So I
stout.
have no idea what you did.
Okay.
I bought a dark beer, an oatmeal stout, to celebrate, and enjoyed it immensely.
And then somebody mentioned Alec
Gotcha.
Guinness's birthday, and
That was me.
Okay.
I made the Guinness joke, and we were drinking Guinness, and we talked about Sam Adams, how beers can taste different depending on what temperature they are, and and here we are, like
Okay.
nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm just getting aggravated at the buffering.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Once I found out that my job was no longer in danger, the shingles started going away. So that, the stress relief,
Yeah.
she froze again.
That's odd because my computer blinked. Oh, she sort of.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
in
Back
there.
in the room again.
I wonder if she's using data or is she using her Wi-Fi?
I want to say trying to do this on a phone is a bad idea generally, but some people can pull it off.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my train of thought.
Freight train done got derailed.
Well, it's probably stopped at a.
Just
There
one.
you are. You're back now.
Are we sure?
Yeah, I can see her move.
Yep.
Now, she's
Okay,
moving
and I'm back. I'm back, guys. I'm sorry. I'm getting aggravated with this. I'm gonna call it a night because this is just not
Okay.
working.
Are
That's
you
fine.
using data or are you using your Wi-Fi? And she's hung up again. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'm glad.
Thank
Good night,
you.
Stephanie.
Thank
I'm glad
you.
I
Good
got to see
night.
everyone.
We love you.
Love
Glad you
y'all
got to be
too.
rowdy.
All right. Good night.
Take care.
Nice.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of people use their phones for this kind of thing, and often they have difficulties, but sometimes, due to Lord only knows what special dispensation, the phone works really, really well. I would not have had that experience. My phone would not be able to do it because I'm a cheap ass and buy a cheap ass phone. But, I only use it to send
You're
texts.
frugal.
No, I'm cheap. I've got no illusions on that matter. I'm cheap.
You're not saying you'd squeeze a nickel and two dimes fall out.
No, but I can pinch a penny till Lincoln screams, and you know how hard those are to find nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, I found one today. 1957.
Nice.
Excuse me.
And it's not going to fool because wheat back.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got several of those in the coin collection. Don't know how many because I'm not pulling a damn 5 pounds worth of loose change out to the counter and count.
Well, I did open a roll of pennies I got from the bank. 25 of them were steel.
Ooh.
Oh,
Well,
yeah. Those were worth more than just a penny.
Yeah, they're worth a quarter.
Yeah, still.
they probably didn't know what they had.
even for sentimental value, it's worth more than a quarter. Yeah, I'd love to run across something like this. Without the change machine working at the factory, I have not been able to add to my state park quarter collection at all. I mean, I don't get any change anymore, except on the rare occasions where I spend cash at a convenience store or a fast food place, and I rarely ever do that.
Dan, you ought to send me a list of quarters you need. Because right now I'm sitting on $75 worth of change.
Me too.
I've got 2 state quarters that I need to get the entire thing, and both of them are from the Denver Mint, and they are U.S. territories, I do believe. I'd have to pull the damn book out and look at it, but and then the state park quarters, I'm still, I'm not desperate to fill up the pages on those, but they're generally what I'm missing is stuff from the Denver Mint.
I think it's 2020s, the real ones that you need to find with a W.
Yeah, the West Point Mint.
Yeah.
I got one and did not know what the West Point Mint was until a friend of mine who's a coin collector told me. And I go, that one ain't getting spent in a gumball machine. Let me tell you, it's going straight to book, even though it does not have a slot for it.
Oh, shoot, guys. It's been a fun night.
You tired?
Well, yeah, all that laughing and my lungs the way they are,
You exhaustivated now, huh?
yeah, I've run out of air. But I needed that. I needed that laugh.
We all
I'm
need.
glad you said that because that reminded me of Spaceballs, the movie.
What?
You're running out of air. So I was playing at Spaceball
Shit, we've gone to plaid.
at ludicrous speed.
Oh, that's actually a speed in Teslas. Ludicrous. And it's on the plaid model. Tesla has 4 models of cars: the S, the X, and the Y. I found out the Model 3 was supposed to have been the Model E, but Ford sued them. Model E is the company name for Ford's all-electric
Oh, okay.
that had not come out yet. Now, what word can you come up with those 4 letters?
Say that again.
Model S, the Model Y, the Model X, and should have been the Model E.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's naming them after the TARDIS.
But yeah, the name of the models was supposed to spell sexy. And if you actually look at the cars, they are.
Hey,
Well,
I still like the truck. I'd love to be able to afford to get one.
speaking of Ford versus Ferrari was a film I enjoyed.
That was a good movie. I love the part where the guy comes by with the suitcase, tells him he can't race the car in the rally or whatever it was because they couldn't fit the suitcase in the trunk, so the car was too small. He takes a hammer and beats the hell out of the trunk lid, throws the suitcase in there, slams the trunk down, and says, "It fits now."
That poor Ferrari.
Was it the Ferrari or the Ford that he built?
They built the Ford.
It was a Ford.
The,
you can't beat a Ferrari into a larger shape. You just shatter the fiberglass.
Yeah. Well, back then it was handcrafted metal, but that was the whole thing about Le Mans anyway. Is Henry Ford II was pissed off because Ferrari went behind his back after they were going to buy them out. because they were having financial troubles, he went to Fiat, who had plenty of money, and got them to do it, and basically told him as they were getting ready to sign the agreements to merge with Ford, I don't need you now. Y'all can leave. So he was determined to beat Ferrari since Ferrari screwed him out of.
Billions.
Yep.
Do you know that at the end of World War II, there was this little car company in Wolfsburg, Germany called Volkswagen?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wanted it. It was in the British sector. The British didn't want it. The Germans didn't want it. The Americans didn't want to have anything to do with it. And I can't remember what happened, but finally they basically sold this car company for. They even offered to sell it for $1 to Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company came by, took a look, said no. So nobody would buy a Volkswagen. And somewhere down the line, I want to say there's this one British guy who saw the potential
Mm-hmm.
in the Volkswagen cars and put some resources into it. And of course, Volkswagen is one of the largest car manufacturers on the planet today. So that's,
Yeah, most of them have portions in them now.
Well,
Auto
Porsche
Union.
from
Auto.
Volkswagen.
What is it? Auto Union. Incorporated. They shortened it to Audi.
Mm.
And yeah, that was the company that took over Volkswagen.
Yeah.
They ended up buying Porsche and all that.
Well, Porsche was the offspring of Volkswagen because Ferdinand worked for Volkswagen.
Yeah. He was ordered to.
Yeah.
All right, guys. If I'm not back by quitting time, go ahead and wrap the show. I've got to run for the bio break.
Okay.
It's
Well,
my
we got
turn.
11 minutes.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
You got 11 minutes.
Run for the border.
Mhm.
Little Chihuahua.
It's a wonder he ain't killed some chihuahuas when he ran for the border.
Only if he stepped on him. Oh.
I'm talking about the methane.
Yeah, but they would be worse than him.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Christy, who raises chihuahuas. I'm sorry. God bless the little pig.
Sarah, good night. Thank you for joining in on the chaos and madness.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Sarah.
Yep. Hope you have a good day tomorrow.
Oh, I'm planning to sleep until well after Lindsay gets back from church tomorrow. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I was up early today and working on Aphelion. I've got all the short stories for this month. The new issue, the April issue, coming out tomorrow night. I got all those done. I've got everything except my editorial done. I do need a short bio from one of the writers. I emailed him. I have not heard back. If I don't hear back by the time it's time for me to flip the issue, I'm going to Steve Martin him a bio.
Mm.
Yes, it will be silly, but it will not be insulting. So,
Mm.
hey, wait a minute. Anyway,
now we have passed the moment that John has been waiting all night for.
that's the only reason I even show up anymore.
I know.
I believe it.
Now, you're going to keep that beard? You're going to shave?
You know, I was literally just thinking about that right before I punched the button. My big problem is if I shave the gray parts, I look like a supervillain. If I keep the gray parts, I look like an older supervillain. But
a distinguished supervillain.
Yeah, well, it's this part right here, the big puffy cheek part that I have to shave, and of course the neck. So
yeah,
or goatees in style.
Hey, it looks nice as a beginner set. I mean,
Listen here, Italian opera singer.
You've got the starter kit going on. It looks good. It really does.
I challenge Chris to grow a beard.
Oh, that'll be the day. Babyface can't grow a beard.
You go back and look at some of my pictures on Facebook, and you will see me with a beard.
I don't believe that's physically possible.
It is, trust me.
I don't think Facebook goes back that far.
Looking older than 12, I swear.
Look around 2017.
I don't think my Facebook will go back that far.
I've never figured out how far up the neck you're supposed to shave a beard.
Generally in line with your chin. Your Adam's apple is supposed to be naked, basically. Yeah, right about there. But rule of thumb is whatever you like, whatever makes you feel comfortable.
I did the Metallica beard once, where I got rid of all this stuff and then went to had a little goatee, and then shaved the chin, and then did the underneath the neck and the cheeks and everything, and just had that weird, W-shaped thing going on. It looked good for about 2 days.
Yeah, it doesn't suit your bone structure.
I had a mullet at one time. So I had, flat top up top. So I had a little bit more hair than I do now. And then I had the mullet. I had the mullet hanging down the back, and I always kept it up in a ponytail mullet kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it got caught in a seatbelt one time. I said, "Good." I pulled my knife out. I'm tired of this damn thing.
Well, you save money on shampoo.
This is true. I literally just use a little dab, and you know what's really funny is people watching me dry my hair. 5 swipes of a towel. I mean, it's
done.
Takes me longer to dry my eyebrows.
Hey, I've got to take a pair of scissors to mine. They're Klingon eyebrows, and I have to continually trim the extra long hairs that spike out. Yeah. I mean, they're really classic Star Trek Klingon eyebrows.
I told somebody
hair comes everywhere and it gets real long, and I'm going, it's actually getting into my eyelashes, and it hurts.
When my hair first started turning gray, I couldn't see the black eyebrow hair, but I could see the gray ones because they would stick out in the sunlight, and it really like having a prism hanging over your eye or something like that, like running your face to a chandelier or something like that. But I started trimming them just to keep them nice and neat, because they were getting
there
crazy.
You go, Dan.
What?
I sent him a picture of me in the
really?
In the group.
You didn't put it on? You didn't share it with the rest of the world? Come on.
It's
wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even believe that was you.
It might not be. I think he found just a standard Facebook picture.
No, it's definitely him, but I wouldn't have believed it.
Yep.
Looks good though. But it all boils down to what you feel you should look like.
Yeah, I did a little bit of trimming underneath, and I wish there's a little spot right in here where it doesn't want to fill in, but everything else filled in fairly decent.
I am going to hate the day when I finally get that last haircut and I realize go all Captain Picard like my dad.
Mm.
Dad made it look good. I don't know that I could pull that look off. I mean, it'd be Captain Picard with a Riker beard, but because this ain't going nowhere. Oh, heavens. 3 minutes. All right. I've got everything set up on the other side. And we shall see what we shall see.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. We'll turn this camera down a little bit so y'all can see me. Thanks everybody for showing up. Appreciate it. Thanks for covering for me while I had to run, take care of family matters.
Hey, well, when you got to do the necessary, you got to do the necessary.
Yeah.
All right, but
No more rats.
no. I'm gonna tell you, I knew when they started clearing that woods, I said, God, we're gonna get eat up by rats again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least it's keeping your cat in practice.
Oh yeah, he's earned his keep for sure. All
So
right,
they cleared out all that down the hill.
they're starting on it.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, I don't know how many
Wrong computer.
I don't know how many exterminator trucks in the neighborhood this last few weeks.
Well, I know that newest house that they got down towards the end is you're going up the hill to get to yours.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'd be afraid that sucker would fall off the side of the hill in a heavy rain because it don't look like it's got a lot of dirt underneath it.
no. All right, guys, I appreciate it. We got to say goodnight because Dan's got to get his show started. Thank you all for tuning in, and Tom, say goodnight, everybody.
Good
Good
night,
night,
everybody.
everybody.
I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.